The story begins with Mariam, a student in school who is constantly harassed and bullied by her classmates Layan and Rania. The reason for this mistreatment is Mariam's excellence and perfect reputation. Despite the bullying, Mariam responds confidently and sits next to her friend Dina for support. Layan, the daughter of a powerful figure in the country, believes she can do whatever she pleases without consequences, and her arrogance is apparent. One day, she plans to meet her friend live and decides to leave school early. She manipulates her female classmates into distracting the driver so she can secretly get off the bus unnoticed. After changing her clothes at a cafe, she meets Liv. Meanwhile, at school, the teacher's assistants inquire about Mariam's whereabouts. Her friends tell them she is absent due to tiredness. A new girl, Noof, joins the class, surprising the others since it's already the second semester. Later, after the school day ends, the bus stops, and a student disembarks. But Layan secretly hides and sneaks back onto the bus, claiming she's going to Liv's house for breakfast. As the next week unfolds, Mariam returns home to a supportive family, which contrasts with the animosity she faces at school. During PE class, Mariam becomes the target of Layan's increased hostility. The coach watches her closely, growing angry and depriving her of playing time. Layan's resentment deepens, and in the changing room she plots to take revenge on Mariam. The rumors about Mariam's supposed behavior spread quickly, with Rania and Ruqayya, Layan's close friends, confirming the lies. The girls start to believe the fabricated story, and Mariam, devastated, isolates herself, refusing to speak to anyone. Dina approaches Mariam, sharing the rumor about her supposed attempt to harass Layan. Mariam is heartbroken, knowing the truth but feeling helpless as the situation escalates. She believes Layan is behind the slander and that it's all part of her revenge. The following day, Mariam visits the principal, Fatem, and confides in her about the ongoing bullying. Fatem calls Layan into her office, warning her about the consequences of her actions. However, due to Layan's influential father, no immediate action is taken, leaving Mariam feeling even more vulnerable. Furious and certain that Mariam is the one who reported her, Layan and her friends concoct a plan to punish Mariam without getting caught. Layan corners the school's cleaning lady, threatening her into revealing a secluded area with no cameras, the old bus garage. Layan sends Mariam a text message, luring her there. Mariam, unsure of who sent the message, arrives and is shocked to find Layan, Rania, and Ruqayya waiting for her. They attack her, mocking and beating her until she loses consciousness. Noof witnesses the assault and immediately contacts an ambulance, rushing Mariam to the hospital. The investigation into the incident begins with Layan denying any involvement. Rania claims she left school right after the incident, and Ruqayya also denies everything. They all suggest that Noof may have been the one who saved Mariam, trying to deflect suspicion. Meanwhile, Noof receives a threatening message warning her not to speak out about what she saw. Though she witnessed the truth, Noof stays silent, fearful of Rania's threats. As Mariam recovers in the hospital, she is terrified of the growing troubles and feels betrayed by those who believed the lies about her. At school, her reputation remains tarnished. Even her own mother believes the rumors, leaving Mariam feeling utterly alone and devastated. Her mental health suffers, and she seeks help from a doctor who prescribes sedatives to help her cope with the emotional toll. For the next 2 weeks, Mariam tries to reconnect with Dina, but her friend refuses to speak with her, further deepening her isolation. After 2 weeks, Layan and her friends discuss the situation, with Ruqayya grumbling about Layan's favoritism toward Rania. During this time, Mariam returns to school and tries to talk to Dina, hoping to understand why she's been avoiding her. Dina reveals that she heard about Yazan confessing his love for Mariam, but Mariam kept it a secret, leading Dina to believe she was hiding things and possibly siding with Layan. Mariam is shocked by Dina's words, feeling misunderstood and alone. In class, the bullying intensifies as Rania and the others mock Mariam. She becomes overwhelmed, seeking refuge in the bathroom, where she realizes she must stand up for herself. She comes up with a bold plan to defend her dignity. She pulls the fire alarm, causing chaos as students rush out of their classrooms. Firefighters arrive only to find there is no fire. As the commotion dies down, a loudspeaker announcement plays, revealing a recording of Layan and her friends mocking the coach and Miss O'Beer. Layan is horrified, realizing her behavior has been exposed. Mariam works with another student to broadcast the recording, sending it to the school before teachers can intervene. Noof, who had been watching from a distance, begins to suspect Miriam's involvement in the events unfolding. Soon after, the principal punishes Layan and her friends, forcing them to clean the school in workers' uniforms and making them face their families. The students laugh at them, and Miriam feels a sense of satisfaction as the tables turn. Later, Dina approaches Miriam, apologizing for not believing her earlier. She confesses that she had transferred from several schools due to bullying and feared the same problems would happen again if she stood up for Miriam. As the story progresses, Miriam's resilience shines through. She refuses to remain silent, fighting for her dignity and her right to be heard. Miriam confronts Noof, calling her a coward and telling her she no longer wants to associate with her. Noof, upset and hurt, leaves the scene. Soon after, all the students gather for a seminar on bullying, and the school decides to have 2 students act out a scene to demonstrate the effects of bullying. Miss Obier assigns Layan to play the role of the victim, and Noof volunteers to play the bully. As they perform on stage, Noof mocks Layan in front of the audience, all while glancing at Miriam, signaling that she is apologizing in her own way. The next day, during a soccer test, Noof approaches Miriam and attempts to reconcile with her. She confesses that this school is her last chance, as no other institution would accept her if she were expelled. She tells Miriam that she wants to avoid any further problems. Miriam, understanding her position, forgives her, and they make amends. Later, when it's Miriam's turn in the exam, she kicks the ball toward the goal, but it accidentally hits Layan in the face. Layan becomes furious and slaps Miriam, but the coach intervenes, warning Layan that if she doesn't treat her classmates properly, she will not be allowed to participate in the competition. Layan grumbles but remains silent as the test finishes. Her friends speculate about who might have exposed their recording, with some suspecting Miriam, though they quickly dismiss the idea, viewing her as too weak to have done so. However, Rania begins to suspect Noof, having noticed her sitting with Miriam earlier. They decide to teach Noof a lesson similar to the one they gave Miriam. Knowing that Noof's younger sister is also a student at the school, Ruqayya sets out to bully her. Ruqayya harasses the younger girl, who becomes terrified and runs to Noof for help. Rania stops her and threatens that they will continue bullying her sister unless Noof stays away from Miriam. Noof tries to explain that she hasn't done anything wrong, but her words fall on deaf ears. The younger girl is left emotionally distressed, and Noof, determined to get back at Layan and her gang, visits Miriam at home and reveals everything that happened to her sister. She asks Miriam for help in taking revenge on Layan and her friends. Miriam agrees and shares the plan they have devised to deal with Ruqayya, Rania, and Layan, including how they will hold the school principal accountable for not taking action against wrong students. Noof, agreeing with the plan, is eager to execute it the following day. The next school day, after the students change into their clothes for a university event, they prepare for the party. Layan and her friends are excited to meet Laith and Ahmed, while Ruqayya talks about Tariq, a boy she's been communicating with online, though she hasn't met him yet. While Ruqayya changes in the bathroom, Layan decides to play a prank on her. She offers to help fix her clothes, but secretly stains Ruqayya's pants with nail polish. Then, she secretly takes a picture of Ruqayya and sends it to the whole school. Dina sees the picture and, upset, goes to sit alone. Miriam notices and approaches her to offer comfort. She tells Dina that Layan and her gang are untrustworthy, and if she wants to get back at them, Miriam is willing to help. She explains their plan and asks Dina to join them, to which Dina agrees. Noof, however, is upset that her plan has been shared and insists no one else should know about it to avoid alerting Layan. Later that night at the party, Noof maintains her secrecy about their plan. They begin executing it, with Ruqayya being their first target. It turns out that Tariq, the boy Ruqayya has been talking to, is actually Noof, who has been keeping him away from her gang. They see Ruqayya heading to get drinks for her friends, and Dina steps in, spilling the drinks on her. Ruqayya is furious, but Dina offers to clean up her clothes. Meanwhile, Noof informs Miss Obier about the girls meeting in a dark corner of the school, prompting Obier to intervene. When Ruqayya returns to her friends, she finds them gone, feeling abandoned. She calls them repeatedly, but no one answers. She searches for them and eventually finds them, only to be ignored. Angered, Ruqayya walks away, and Noof, pretending to be Tariq, messages her. Noof convinces Ruqayya to take off her hijab and send her a photo without it. After much persuasion, Ruqayya agrees and takes the picture. Noof then posts the photo on Ruqayya's social media accounts, where it quickly goes viral. Ruqayya is devastated, seeing her picture and the negative comments from her peers. Even her mother sees it and storms into the party, angrily taking Ruqayya home and threatening to transfer her to a more strict school. Maryam's plan for revenge on Ruqayya succeeds. The next day, Dina tells Maryam that she might have gone too far with her revenge. Maryam responds that Ruqayya should have listened to her mother and kept her plans secret. At lunchtime, Noof finds out that Ahmed, Rania's friend, has sent her a friend request, which she accepts. Unfortunately, Rania finds out and confronts Noof, forbidding her from getting close to Ahmed. In a fit of rage, Rania grabs Noof's phone and breaks it. Maryam scolds Noof, warning her that this will make Rania keep a close eye on her. Noof starts to reconsider her actions, feeling regretful, and withdraws from the plan. Afterward, during the coach's announcement of the test results, Maryam and Rania are declared the winners. Layan, furious, tries to convince the coach to replace Maryam with her, but the coach stands firm in his decision. In the changing room, Layan sees Maryam taking her sedatives. Curious, Layan looks into Maryam's bag and takes a picture of her medication, intending to use it against her. She also finds Maryam's notes and makes copies of them, planning to distribute them throughout the school. Maryam notices the students reading her notes and feels the weight of her ongoing struggle for justice. They look at Maryam with the papers in their hands, and she is initially surprised. But as she reads them, her face changes, and she realizes that they know she is seeing a psychiatrist and taking sedatives. They now see her as mentally unstable. Overwhelmed, Maryam goes to the bathroom and cries alone. Later, the other girls gather around and read the notes out loud, knowing that Maryam can hear them. Dina, noticing Maryam's absence, asks another girl what happened, and when she learns the situation, she goes to find Maryam. With Noof, they try to comfort her, but Maryam, feeling defeated, admits that they are right. She believes she isn't strong enough to handle the pressure and decides that the first thing she'll do when she gets home is ask her mother to transfer her to a different school. She walks away, feeling completely crushed. Days pass, and Maryam's mental state deteriorates. She feels isolated and cuts off her plan to seek revenge. At the same time, Dina, saddened by Maryam's condition, reaches out to Noof. Together, they realize they must help Maryam continue her plan and stand by her side. Noof, now convinced by Dina's words, agrees. She sends Maryam a message telling her that she's exhausted and wants her to come over. Maryam quickly responds and arrives to check on her. Noof and Dina assure her that they will always support her and help her carry out her plan against the other students. They all agree to put their plan into motion during the upcoming school trip, especially since Layan and Rania are planning to meet up with Ahmed and Laith secretly. Maryam feels hesitant to return to school after what happened, but Noof reassures her. She tells Maryam that they've gathered all the evidence and stolen the notes from the kids, so the subject will soon be forgotten. Maryam feels a wave of relief and excitement. They begin executing their plan, starting with Noof sending a picture of Layan with Rania and their friends from Ruqayya's account. Layan is shocked, and she and Rania panic. Noof successfully hacks into Layan's phone, and as soon as Layan opens the picture, she's trapped. The day of the trip arrives. All the students are getting ready, and Ayam is very nervous, particularly about her older brother Hazem, who is taking her to school. Along the way, they pass by Rania, who is arguing with her father, who is drunk and refuses to let her go. Her mother intervenes, allowing Rania to leave. Ayam notices a gun in the car and asks Hazem about it, but he dismisses her concern and tells her it's none of her business. He advises her to keep quiet and avoid talking to anyone outside the family. The students board buses, heading to the hotel where they'll stay for the trip. Abir organizes the room assignments, and by chance, Noof is paired with Layan and Rania. She is upset at first, but soon learns that Maryam was the one who wrote her name on the list in order to keep an eye on them. Noof is angry at Maryam for making decisions without consulting her, but she is eventually forced to sit with Layan and Rania. At the pool, Noof becomes uncomfortable with the crowd and retreats to a quieter area. To her surprise, a stranger approaches her, which scares her. The other kids notice and get upset, and the stranger leaves when Noof threatens to call security. Noof breaks down in tears, and the students comfort her. Abir arrives and reassures everyone that nothing happened. Noof, embarrassed and frustrated, keeps quiet. Later, Mariam sees Noof talking to the other students and thinks that Noof is upset with her. When Noof comes to talk to Mariam, she tells her that once their plan is complete, the other students will no longer upset her. Noof insists that the kids are not the most important thing in the world, but Mariam doesn't agree. She goes to her room, feeling conflicted and hurt. The next day, Mariam and Dina discover that Noof has been monitoring Layan's phone. However, Noof decides not to share this with Mariam, feeling grateful for Layan's help earlier. During mealtime, the girls gather, and Mariam asks Noof about Layan's plans to meet with her friends. Noof tells her she doesn't know, but suggests giving the others a second chance, seeing the good in Layan. Mariam becomes upset, thinking that Noof is letting her guard down too easily, but Noof stands firm, believing she's making the right decision. That evening, Layan and Rania prepare to sneak out to meet their friends. The others offer Noof the chance to join them, but she decides to stay behind. However, Layan soon figures out that Noof has been acting as their ally all along. She confronts her, but Noof refuses to explain. Mariam, certain that the others will be at the party, informs Abir. When Abir arrives at the party, she finds Layan and Rania's room empty. She quickly realizes they've sneaked off and races to find them. At the party, Rania, in the bathroom, is approached by Ahmed. Noof pushes him away, teasing him, but when Rania returns, Ahmed accuses Noof of encouraging him. This leads to a quarrel between Rania and Noof. Noof, embarrassed, runs to the bathroom, and the others try to calm her down. At that moment, Noof reads a message about Abir approaching the party, prompting the group to run back to their room. However, Abir catches up to them. She finds Rania and instructs her to go to sleep, promising to deal with her the next day. A week later, Rania returns to school with bruises on her face from her family's punishment. Noof hasn't spoken to Mariam during this time. Rania, along with Layan, discusses meeting Laith before the vacation. Mariam overhears their conversation in the bathroom. Later, at the school restaurant, Noof thanks Mariam for helping her. Dina, observing, believes they have truly changed and are now on the same side. Especially after we stop and tell her that they saved her, Mariam is left sitting alone, observing the others gathered around. That night, she continues with her plan and succeeds in uncovering the address of the family home. As the days go by, she finds herself on the phone when her brother suddenly enters, causing her to panic. She quickly hides the phone from him, realizing that if he sees Rania's name on the screen, he might discover that she has been talking to a boy. Nervous, she goes to complain to her father, who reassures her that her sisters only worry about her well-being and didn't intend to harass her. The next day, Mariam escapes from the school bus as usual and meets up with Laith. In the classroom, teacher Abir asks about her absence, and Rania lies, saying Mariam didn't come to school. Abir inquires if Mariam saw her on the bus, to which Mariam replies that she hadn't noticed her and marks Layan as absent. It becomes clear that Mariam knows how to get Hazem's number, Layan's brother, and the girls feel that Mariam is up to something. After class, they approach her and accuse her of what she did to Ruqayya and Rania, but Mariam yells at them, saying they are hypocrites for not defending her when they saw the other girls bullying her. She storms off, leaving them behind. Noof feels guilty and reflects on the situation, realizing that Mariam could have been seriously hurt from their actions. But she also understands that it's not shameful for a person to make a mistake and feel guilty about it. However, Mariam remains focused on taking revenge, and Noof decides it is her responsibility to warn Mariam before things go too far. Meanwhile, Abir goes to the principal and reports that Layan has been absent frequently. She insists that they call Layan's family to investigate the reasons behind her absences, but the principal brushes her off, mentioning that she's busy with a ceremony where she'll receive an award for her excellent management of the school. Abir, dissatisfied, decides to get the mother's contact number to call her directly. Back at home, Rania scrolls through party pictures when she notices Dina's reflection in one of the photos sent by Noof to Layan. Realizing that Dina is the one who took the pictures, Rania gets angry and confronts her. Noof tries to calm her down and explains what Mariam is planning to do to Layan. Rania warns her that if Hazem, Mariam's brother, finds out, he could seriously harm her. They decide to find Mariam and stop her from carrying out her plan. At school, Abir talks to the girls, learning that Layan has been absent frequently. She calls home to check, but the family confirms that Layan left in the morning and boarded the school bus. Hazem becomes upset when he realizes his sister has run away from school, and he tries to call her, but she doesn't answer. Meanwhile, Mariam is composing a message, planning to send the Byte Live website link to Hazem, contemplating the bullying she has suffered at the hands of Layan and how it ruined her reputation. Before she can send it, Noof and the girls intervene, pleading with her not to send the message, fearing Hazem's reaction. Mariam, however, insists that it's too late and presses send. The message reaches Hazem, who immediately tells his family that he knows where Layan is and plans to bring her back home. At the same time, Layan is with Laith, changing out of her school clothes after finding them in the swimming pool. Hazem arrives at the address, furious, and knocks on the door. The Days hear his voice and become terrified. She checks her phone and sees numerous missed calls from Hazem and a message from Rania telling her what happened. Hazem, confirming that Layan is inside, begins to break down the door. Meanwhile, Layan's father is in a confrontation with the school principal, who is holding her award. He accuses her of being careless and untrustworthy, throwing the award on the ground before storming out. As Hazem breaks into the house, he loses his temper when he sees Layan with Laith. He attacks Laith, pulling out a gun and aiming it at Layan. Layan tries to explain that nothing happened, but Hazem accuses her of ruining the family's reputation. Overcome with emotion, Layan pleads with him to put the gun down, but he refuses to listen. Realizing that there is no stopping him, Layan closes her eyes, and we hear the sound of a gunshot. The scene cuts, leaving the identity of the person who was shot unknown. Back at the school, the principal is in her office, shocked by what just occurred, as we learn that Laith is her son. Meanwhile, Mariam walks through the school, satisfied after getting her revenge on Layan. She feels she has finally set things right. As the story unfolds, we ask you to share your thoughts in the comments.